All right. Welcome to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert here with my pal Susan. And I'm very excited today to be talking about a new venture that just seems to be an extension of who we are and what we've done as Yes and Exercise. You said it a minute ago. Remember, we talked about writing a book together, right?
Oh yeah, that was like 5 years ago. Yeah, we were
This,
so in tune with each other that you just said, we're going to write a book together someday, and I said, what? You said it was like it had happened. It was like you were seeing in the future.
yeah,
And I said, okay. So after you had mentioned it 3 or 4 times, I said, so what's this book called, Robert? You said, oh, recovery time. Like it was the most normal thing. Like I just hadn't didn't know that yet.
it's so funny because you're right. I mean, when it comes to things like that, I am very matter of fact because I have, writing is very natural to me, and accomplishing, finishing, putting out, my writing is part of who I am. And to you, it set off all these alarm bells. Well, what do I have to do? Where's my role? And this, and the other. I remember that. And Recovery Time is a book that, yes, it will get written. It's one of those long stewing things, and I still don't know when that's going to happen. As it turns out, 5 years later, that's not the book we're talking about today.
There is another. Is it? Who knew that it was a book about a little dragon? And
Well, and a woman with Parkinson's and a very damaged man in a fictional town called Harmony. We've talked a little about it before, but let's bring it forward now. The name of the book is Harmony Rising. Wonderful title. You've been working on this in various forms for, I'd say, about 2 years. Does that sound right?
yes, it was so different initially than what it is now. It's somewhere in that neighborhood. Maybe more
And it came,
focused on this on the story it is
take your
now.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you need a sip, get a sip by all means.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
fill in just to say that the process began in cinema therapy. And, this was a character. You had an idea for who Ellie was. And as you said, she's gone through a lot of iterations. There was the idea that she was a game show host. There was the idea that, she had this whole outside life in the world of New York and all these things. But over time, we really, really streamline this thing. Go ahead.
Well, it's important for that for that story to for anybody who was thinking about writing to realize that how I got to that place that she was an 80-year-old retired game show host,
Right.
it was 100% because you were trying to teach us the importance of what you were calling mythologizing yourself at that time,
Mm,
and
mm.
has evolved to aesthetic distance and maybe a few other synonyms for that concept. And I literally sat with my mom in her room at the retirement uh, senior place where she lived, and I wrote down on a napkin as many wild, crazy ideas as I could
Right.
think of that my character could be. Not that I wanted to be a trapeze artist, but if I didn't write it down and
Right.
write down game show host, it was not, there was no potential for it. So I wrote all these things. There were probably 10 or 12 of them. And I just looked at it for a few days. And game show host stood out because I could envision it being a word game, like password or
Which is a personal desire or affinity of yours, right?
words. Yeah,
Words.
language. And it was so much fun for me that I ended up. And then you asked questions as my writing coach along the way, like, but wait, she's going to have a game show host. It's not going to be in the middle of nowhere in Montana. It's going to be in New York. So what?
Yeah.
So then I had to make that work, and eventually it was too complicated. And again, it
Yeah.
was you as my writing coach who said, "You got a lot of stuff going on here. let's pick one or two and go down those paths."
It's so important you bring that up because, what happens in the story you just told is, I think, the evolution of a lot of writers. And the phrase that some people know, popularly attributed to Ernest Hemingway, is kill your darlings. That you may have these incredible, potent, lovely ideas, but if they don't add up, they got to go away. And you and I had, I mean, massive 15 round wrestling matches about some of these things that you were so attached to.
Yeah.
And again, I'm here to say today, it's not because any of them are bad ideas. They're not. It's, do they add up? How are they going to become? And you didn't know about this narrative structure, never having written something longer form. And as you said, I was never trying to tell you right or wrong, good or bad, just does it work or doesn't it? We know our two foundational things. Is it clear? Is it engaging? And more often than not, it was engaging, but it sure as shit wasn't clear.
And it didn't serve the story. And
Right,
when you're counseling us to make it serve the story, then
right.
Kill Your Darlings made more sense and was easier to do.
Yeah.
It's very hard when you're in love with something that you've written, and you're really proud of it, and it is good. It's it's hard to say, as you just did, this is really good, but not for this piece right here. And you would say, just save it. Don't delete it. Just keep it somewhere else.
Right,
You can always go back to it. So you
right.
built in a lot of freedom for us, but the concept was hard to grasp, and the discipline to do it was even harder, to set stuff aside.
I mean, as a, decades long experienced writer in a lot of forms, I know the feeling, and I do my best to empathize with you all, because you're not the only one who struggles with this in our classes, of course. I know it in my own writing. When editors come and say this has to go, and there's that initial feeling. It's almost akin to when you have to throw up, but you really don't want to, and once you do, you feel so much better.
Yeah, yeah, it's so funny.
It really, that's really it. And I know that's crude, but I mean, we talk about things like the vomit draft and all that because here's the thing: writing is a visceral, physical process. And that's what I keep trying to get to you guys: is if you don't feel it that deeply in what you're doing, you're probably not writing anything worthwhile. If it's just skittering across the surface to you and it's kind of meandering, why are we wasting anyone else's time with that? Who the heck is going to read something that is okay? There's too many things that are great, that are,
Yeah,
throat grabbing, that are amazing, to spend our
yeah.
time on things that are mediocre,
I
right?
have a sweatshirt that says so many books, so little time. I mean, it's just like it's it's significant.
It is, and that's it. So it's got to add up. And I use the phrase you heard this morning because Stephen King loves it, and you know how I just adore him. A cracking good story. He talks about that all the time, and there's that word cracking is such a nice one. It
Yeah,
means it has pace, it has stakes. It's the yeah, let's go thing. It doesn't meander and sit down and go, let's talk about things. It doesn't do that. There's really something big happening, and we got to know what's next. We the reader are going, I can't put this down, you know
yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's where we're headed now, I think, with Harmony Rising.
I'm picturing so many conversations and so many passages. Let me just focus on the title. It has dawned on me in the um, conversations that we've had about my project that the title, the word rising is so powerful. Well, both of the harmony is a fabulous concept, but the rising, as I continued to write the story and found those conflicts and found those headbutting parts of the story, I saw what was missing from harmony. Harmony wasn't Harmony had lost its idealistic utopian whatever,
Yeah.
and to have something like a baseball, and a game of catch hold it together is it's just dang exciting to me to be able to find something like that.
When something becomes large and complex, it can become unwieldy and unapproachable and maybe even unfamiliar. And we could talk about that in systems, relationships, anything. And that's exactly at the heart of your piece. You're right. There's this idea of this place called Harmony that's about to celebrate its 100-year anniversary. And it is utopia like. And yet it has lost its way through no one's outward, doing. But what's missing and what really plays in this story that you tell is the fundamentals of communication, of acceptance, of diversity, of, really the way we communicate. And well, you mentioned catch. I mean, what's so great about that foundationally is we could strip out language and still connect to each other by doing this, right? If I'm throwing you this right now, I bet you'll throw it back. And she does, right? And that's really the key is just to have it. Thank you. To see that when we understand that connection is what this is about. The words are only one way we do it.
Yeah. 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 Yes.
It's the same way in an improv why mirror is the foundational game, right? We strip out language to show, hey, by the way, we're connected just by saying, here we are together, right?
And the same with the yes and. It just feels good to have a chance both to give something back with the and it feels really good to have it given to me.
Yeah. The gift giving part of it's
Mirror and
really
yes
big.
and. Yeah.
You're right. And, those two words I think have become a lot more socially understood. Yes. And in the past 15, 20 years, they seem to have gotten into the public's idea.
Mhm.
I don't think there's great understanding about them though. And really it's just two words, but we do talk about that yes doesn't mean agreement necessarily. It means acceptance. And that's a much more challenging idea. Accept agreements like fine, okay, right? Acceptance is, oh, all right, this truly is. I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with it. However, I do have to accept it is real and valid and deserves respect,
Right.
dignity,
Acknowledgement.
space, acknowledgement, all of those things.
Mhm.
That's very, as opposed to people just trying to say no, get it out, defile it, dehumanize it, whatever else. It's like, no, that needs to be accepted, just like you're accepted. And then, like you said, that's all in yes. We haven't even gotten to the and.
No, it's true. It's true. We actually talked to the head of a big program at a university, and she had recently landed on the importance of the word yes and hadn't attached an and to it. And when we brought that to her, it was almost like boing. It's like, oh, wow, my yes just got, because she was teaching her students the importance of yes. And she was so excited to feel the and.
There's a game. I'm sorry, you're sparking my brain right now. That's so big that I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's so foundational in improv space in person. You really can't do it. I've tried online, but it doesn't work. And the game is because you're in a circle physically, and what person does is starts from one end of the circle, makes eye contact, and starts walking towards another person. That person has to find eye contact. Yeah, at first has to say yes, right? They acknowledge the eye contact, and then has to find someone else to make eye contact to say yes to them, so they can move, and the other person can replace them, right?
Oh,
So it's a weird, tense game in some ways because A, there's eye contact, and two, the only word is yes, which means that not only do I see you, I accept you're coming for me, and you're going to replace me. So I need to find someone else to allow me to replace them. by the time that person comes to me, I mean, that's kind of the gamified version of it. And it's, it's a slow walk, but it's the intentionality and acceptance of someone's coming to replace my space. Therefore, I need a new place, and I'm going to trust someone else will allow me to have their
So
space.
cool.
Right? It's
Yeah.
simple, but really, really dynamic.
Am I hearing this right that you would begin to feel you were about to be replaced and you could feel invalidated or threatened or something, but there was a way out by
The,
finding another person to connect with?
that's right. And they're going to give you their space because they
Mhm.
trust that someone else will give them a space. There's always room. However, we have to move. Nobody gets to sit in their one space and just go mine. That's just not how it works.
And
Why? Because the circle becomes static. It, like harmony, in the outward sense where the story starts, it'll die if it doesn't have movement. The movement is what keeps it alive.
mhm.
That we are in constant agreement that there needs to be movement. Therefore, I have to leave my safe place and find a new space and trust that someone else will have that for me.
Does it have a name that
I'm
experiencing
sure it does. It might be like
sorry.
Yes Circle or something like, improv games go by a lot of names.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's if you want to try that, I don't know. The one challenge in some Parkinson's groups is the mobility aspect, right? Because it does require
Yeah.
walking across the circle.
It would be the other group that I'm involved in that, yes, I'm having a
Yeah.
swallowing test pretty soon. Can you tell?
Okay.
Maybe I need
Take your
one.
time and need to get a drink. That's okay. Take
Yep,
your
I
time,
might.
clear your throat. But just know again that's a game we can talk more about going forward. And yeah, so it all fits. And again, I just wanted to highlight at the first part of this conversation once again the excitement about Harmony Rising. Let everybody know to be looking out for it at the World Parkinson's Congress here in May. That our goal is to have some version of it by then. If we don't, that's okay. It'll be coming soon after. But we're in process. We're close. I'm very excited, and I'm very proud of the work that you've done, Susan, to get it to this place, and excited for the work you're going to allow me to add to it to get us even closer to where you'll have the final, revision of it after that.
I'm yes, really, really excited. Yeah, yeah. I am
Great.
really. I'm really, really proud of it.
Thank you. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick transition here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start a new video. We're going to come back in another dose because I have another thing for
Okay.
us to go over. Thanks, everybody. Harmony Rising. Be on the lookout for it. A success story. That's right. A success story coming your way from Yes and Exercise. Thanks so much. See you in a minute. See you on the next dose.